ปกป้องชีวิตปกป้องชีวิตชีวิตปกป้องชีวิต
Yeah, I did it on purpose. Why? Because it was hilarious, and I think everyone can agree. And while some characters' entire purpose is to be a troll pick, others are just,
Screw you, I'm gonna go play Team Fortress.
Out of the characters after Overwatch 2's release, only one has been well designed. This made me think, how hard is it to create a character? Surely it must be pretty hard since some characters were made in a single day. I want you right now to think of a character that is well designed. Hell, maybe try to make your own Overwatch character in your imagination. Well, let's compare that character to the rest of the cast. So to make a character, we gotta see what makes a character not fun. Because the feeling of the kit is important, and balance, well, that comes after. So what makes a character fun? Well, let's break it down. Let's start with a gun, and let's ignore the whole hit scan versus projectile, since both can feel good. The true idea of a weapon of feeling good is spam. Well, not that type of spam, more like automatic versus single fire. While auto weapons can feel good, single fire weapons just feel better. In TF2, 8 of the 9 classes have a single fire weapon. That is on purpose. You line it up, boom, dead, back to the respawn. Feels great. There's no other feeling. So, if there's a heavy delay on your shots, you get a point. Hell, what do I mean by point? Well, that's the easy way of deciding what characters are well designed. Is it a great system? It's simple. Yet, why do people say projectile is brain dead? Because of this, the other spam. Spamming is not fun, and most spam characters are bullshit. You can tell a character is spammy if somehow somebody looks and performs way better than they actually are. A lot of spam characters are great in low elo, and why is that? Because of skill floors. So one thing people get confused on is skill floor and skill ceilings. A skill floor is the minimum required skill needed to play a character effectively, and a skill ceiling is the level of skill needed to reach their maximum potential. In low elo, low skill floor, good, high skill floor, bad. In high elo, this term becomes tricky. Just because the character has a low skill floor does not mean they have a low skill ceiling. And also, a high skill floor is not associated with high value. Does one who thy counter-swap exhibits the neural and moral ineptitude of one's character? Objection! Junkrat is a perfect example for this since he stomps low elo lobbies because of the amount of value you can get. But as you get higher, people are more spread out, better at aiming, positioning, and exploiting your weaknesses. And spam is way less effective. With Junkrat you can keep up with the difficulty curve, but it is very hard to learn compared to other projectile DPS. Junkrat is easy to pick up, but hard to master. And even when you do master him, he is not as good as his peers. Now the consensus is a character is well designed if they have a low skill floor but high skill ceiling. And this ideology makes sense. If you are fighting these low skill ceiling characters, it doesn't feel good when you are losing them since in your mind, they are playing new characters, I'm playing skillful characters, and I'm losing. And well, skill issue, but everyone has said this and it is infuriating. But then, is the high skill ceiling good? Hell no! The reason why you associate these low skillful characters to being badly designed is, well, you also gotta think of how hard was it to land my hit. If you don't gotta aim, or it is literally impossible to miss, we're gonna have some problems. These characters get decent value for no effort, and while these skill check heroes are almost never strong, they are strong in low elo. You know, where 90% of the players are, and this ideology is very harmful. Think about it, you're brand new, pick the cool guy on the select screen, and you get rolled by this guy, like on cooldown. And while you say, well, they will slowly improve till they are able to beat the Moira player. No. They will pick these no-aim characters themselves, and their brain will see more kills, more wins, more elo. The brain will see this and think they are doing good, but because they are new, whatever they're doing is probably stupid. It's fine to play stupid. It's okay to be bad. We were all bad, and as you play, you get rid of bad habits through deaths, and that is how you get better. But because some kits are so easy, whatever dumb stuff they were doing is not getting punished, but rewarded, meaning your growth slows down. A character that not only ruins fun for new players to fight against, but also actively detriments the person using it should never be in any game. So, that's a primary weapon, and what did we learn? Well, you want to have a hard-hitting, single-fire, non-spammy gun, where the shots take skill to land. What I'm trying to say is, some guns are just peak, and some, well, they're this. Now how do we structure abilities? Well, let's start with the movement. It first started with man's roll or man's goes slightly faster to teleport through 5 walls. But it's okay to have such an ability because movement is fun, and more importantly, the rest of the kit is surely designed around such an ability. There are 3 tiers of movement abilities. First is slight movement in a direction. Basically, this can mean doing something slightly faster or dodging just at the right moment. These abilities have a very short cooldown or no cooldown at all, and are generally boring. Next is the great movement abilities, where the character has such an ability that can be designed around. While slight movement is a forgettable part of one's kit, a great movement ability is one that takes risks and makes plays because of it. If this ability was removed, the character would not feel good. This is what separates Winston's jump from this pathetic kit. Well, third tier truly speaks for itself now, does it? Just admire the beauty of it right now. And outside of cranking down your headphone volume, what would happen if you combined the great gun with the great movement? For the next type of ability, we have the damage. While everyone enjoys Ryan's main suffer, this ain't it. Damage abilities should have 2 uses. One, obviously the damage, but secondly, they should have another thing they do. Not just be a finishing off tool, because generally those are lame and don't have a lot of depth to them. For example, Bastion's grenade can either be regular shot or used as a movement option. Reinhardt's Fire Strike makes up for his poor range. Queen has 3 of these, where it's used for damage, for sustain, for crowd control, and makes up for her poor range. That is way cooler than just, finish tool. But not all damage abilities are created equal, mainly in the crowd control. Crowd control is not fun, and there are 2 types, soft and hard. Soft is basically boops and slowdowns, and hard stops everything you're doing and puts you in a cutscene of you getting fucked. You know, the main idea of Overwatch 2 PvP was to diminish CC, because as the season passes, they keep either buffing CC or literally just bring it into the game for no reason. Old Hack, an openly admitted failed design of an ability, used to restrict all abilities and passives for 5 seconds in a movement ability based shooter. When Overwatch 2 rolled around and the devs realized how stupid this was, they actually made her into, an actual character. Yet, for some inexplicable, brain-dead, dimwit excuse of a reason of hero fantasy, they decided to buff the EMP lockout duration to 3 seconds. You couldn't have possibly made a worse decision, and then you do that idea multiple times. And our final main type of ability is Sustain. Basically, these are the fuck you, I don't die abilities. While some are lame or implemented well into their kit, others are just like, who designed this? Any non-interactive sustain ability gets a -1, and if the sustain falls a 10 on the bullshit-o-meter, then, fuck you. Basically, if you want to make healthy sustain, movement is the best form of sustain. Now, there are a ton of abilities that I didn't talk over concerning utility, but that would take ages, and this is supposed to be a rough overview. What I want to talk about is archetypes, the first one being one-shotters. While doing the one-shotting is fun, getting one-shot has to be the most painful thing a human being can go through. Characters that have one-shots are usually horrible at everything else. If you remove the one-shot, you kind of just remove the entire character's kit, but at the same time, that kit is not healthy, so you're really just a lose-lose. Some characters should just never be good, because their whole kit is just wrong. Hell, I play so much Hog, and he's the worst designed, most unhealthy character in the game. Another easy one to note is tank busters. Basically, these characters' major value is by blowing up the tank, using all their resources on the chunky guy. Because there's only one tank, characters that tank bust should be reworked so that they're worse at tank busting and better at killing squishies. An easy way to fix this is by reworking tank busting cooldowns by decreasing their lethality but decreasing their cooldowns. You could also buff other parts of their kit. Mirrorwatch did this and it felt great, yet out of all the great changes there, they didn't introduce a single one. Another type of character archetype is a turret character. These are always badly designed heroes, and it's so no wonder they haven't released one in 8 years. And this is it, the true hero design tier list. Yeah, I know, this isn't perfect. Some are not where they should be. History has shown when these characters are the meta, the game is fun. When these guys are the meta, it is the worst season in the game. So, in conclusion, when creating your character, look at what is done right, and compare the abilities and gun you created for your character to the abilities and gun of the pre-existing character. Without a doubt, every ability you can think of is roughly similar to something already in the game, and if something is unhealthy, do not copy it. Maga's two abilities are altered versions of Pin and Fortify. Pin is well designed, Fortify is not. And that translates to Maga, where his Stomp is well designed and the Overdrive is not. Also, I cannot stress this enough, make sure your character's abilities flow well with the kit. You don't want to have a scratchbook of Frankenstein abilities. For the gun, you can be very creative. Just make the gun have difficult to land shots, but not too difficult. Make the power scale accurately with a range, and make sure your character has a range from 0 to 40 meters where that can be exploited. A character effective at every range is not effective design. For ultimates, I didn't talk about this at all, but I just think about what ultimates already exist in the game and copy those. There are poorly designed ults and well-designed ults. Just like abilities, follow the good examples. So, you finally got it. Well, now to create the hero's personality. I'm finally done. Here, sir. I finally got the character's moveset ready. Yes. I do feel it's missing something. Oh, of course. How could I forget? Perfect.